Café do Brasil.
Continuamos com o Flash. Estou com o Ray Conniff. Do you like the Brazilian coffee?
Time for a commercial. I was doing a tour night do Brasil for Manuel Palladium, mi empresario. How about a little camera for Manuel? Take a little...
Come on, Manuel Palladium. Chega pra cá, Palladium. Vem cá. Não, mas puxa a cadeira. Fica aqui com a gente. Manuel Palladium, um dos mais importantes empresários brasileiros de todos os tempos, divertindo a nossa plateia. Quantos anos, Palladium?
Mi empresario, Manuel Palladium.
My pleasure. Desde o ano passado.
40 anos.
I have to tell you a story about Manuel. Manuel, you know, he doesn't tell people about this, but he raises horses, jumping horses. Yeah. His son is a champion. He gets in the airplane, he flies to Germany, and he buys prize perfecto horses, male horses, flies them back to his ranch here in Brazil, and then breeds horses. And he makes millions of dollars. And then when he gets a lot of money, he brings Ray Conniff for a tour to Brazil, and spends all his money on the Ray Conniff tour.
Verdade?
Não, você...
Inventou essa história?
Não, os milhões são mentira, né? Mas a verdade é...
Os milhões são a única verdade. Brincadeira.
Não, é assim, é que eu crio cavalos de hipismo, né? É um hobby e meu filho compete, então é um prazer, uma satisfação. E ele gosta muito de cavalos e ele fica empolgado com as viagens dos cavalos de avião para a Europa, para o México, para as competições.
It's all done with very, very modern. The mares get pregnant with the computers. Yeah, really. It's all very, very advanced technology.
Você mora em Los Angeles? You live in Los Angeles?
Yes.
In Los Angeles.
In the Hollywood Hills, yeah.
Hollywood Hills.
Yeah. Hey, it's time for a commercial break, okay? I got to tell you a story. We were doing a tour, and we were on the what do you call, we call them the Autobahn or the freeway. What do you call it? And we made a stop for the whole orchestra and chorus. So I had a Brazilian coffee, and it was great. And I says to the guy, I says, "Hey, that's terrific coffee. What kind of coffee is that?" He says, "You like that coffee?" I says, "I love it." He says, "We sell it here. We grow it here, right in the back." He says, "Here, you want some?" So I bought 2 kilos and brought back to the United States. And it's called Café Capital. Time for a commercial, Café Capital. So every year we send Manuel Palladium some money, and he buys some Café Capital and mails it to us. And we have Brazilian coffee in Hollywood all the time. We have espresso machine.
Mr. Conniff, vamos falar pouquinho da Segunda Guerra Mundial, the war. Your activity in the war.
Okay, well, which war?
Second. The second. Tá dizendo que ele tá velho, ele não tá tão velho assim. Vou até dizer a idade dele agora. Depois dessa, cadê a idade dele? Quantos anos tem o Mr. Conniff?
How many years old?
Eu quero...
November 6, I have my 80th birthday. We're going to have a big party.
80 anos, hein? Vai ter uma grande festa lá em Los Angeles, big party in Los Angeles.
Yeah, my wife's going to have a party, yeah. All the family's going to come from all over, wherever they're living, and if I make it. How many months away is November? I hope I make it.
Speak about the war.
During the war, I was with my first wife. She's dead now. She passed away. And I had 3 children, two by my first wife, and she had a stepson. And we lived in Reseda, California. So I didn't go into the Army right away because they didn't, and my mother was living with us. So I wasn't drafted into the Army until, I guess it was 19... when was the war over? 1946. 40, is that right? Yeah. 45. Okay. About 45.
45.
So I went in the last year, and so I went like everybody else, you know, the basic training, climbing in the mud on the ground with the machine guns going over your head. You know, what do you call it? We call it basic training, you know, and. The sergeant, "Hey, you guys." And so anyway, I was in basic training for, say, 6 months. And then after that, somebody on the base found out, "Hey, Ray Conniff's over in basic training. Let's get them over in the band training unit, and where all the musicians were. And everybody was kicking me around up to then. When I got over there, I had been in bands like Artie Shaw and Bunny Berrigan and Bob Crosby and Benny Goodman. So when I come over, everybody was so happy to see me, and I played trombone. I remember the first time I went out on a dress parade for the trombone, you know. They said to me, I says, I never been in a parade, you know, walking, playing da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I says, I never did that. She said, oh, it's no problem. Don't worry. Don't worry. All you got to do is follow the guy in front of you. No problem. And so I said, well, okay. So I go out there, and we go out, we saw. But the only problem is the trombones are in the front row. There's nobody to follow. I'm the first one, premier row. So we're going along, we come, and on the right side is the general and the reviewing stand. And I have all the music, you know. Music is like, you have a little thing, and it goes in like this, you know. Da, 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 da. And so we're marching along, and before we get the reviewing stand, the band leader says, okay, fellas, siempre fidelis. So I says, siempre, oh, okay. And, you know, I'm trying to hold the trombone. And my slide, my trombone, I have a lock on the slide, so it can't fall off. And this trombone in the Army had no lock, so the slide falls off and on the ground. And so I dropped it, and I'm swooping down, I'm picking up the music, and the whole band goes by me, and I'm there picking up the music on the ground and get the slide, and then they're down there, and I go running out, and the general is in the museum. They're all laughing. They're having a great time. And I found out the next day, when they have another dress parade, the general says, be sure you have that trombone player come again and do that funny bit where he drops the music. So anyway, I went in the Army 1946, and I wound up teaching. You know, they had the WAC, W-A-C, Women's Auxiliary Corps, and they had a band. The women had a band. So they sent me over to teach the women how to play trombone. I give them the women lessons to play trombone. So I was only